So we're in your culinary book. We're on chapter 3, and chapter 3, the section 3 is going on healthy living. And so we're getting into weight management. So I'm going quickly through your book, and then from this point, as soon as we get a firm foundation, we're going to be starting to go into table settings and making meals. So let's talk about healthy living, weight management. So regular eating, the correct number of calories is based on your gender and your activity level. So while each individual looks different because of different builds and bone densities and weight compositions and other things, all these affect you and affect if you need weight management. And so the Bible says we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Let's say that again. God tells us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. So it's important to take care of our body because our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, right? So successful weight management involves taking steps to achieve healthy weight within your body. That's whether if you're underweight or overweight, so learn to manage your weight as a teenager will help you in your lifetime. So it's important. The CDC, having healthy eating habits will help to prevent obesity, which can contribute to serious health risks. Like it's getting up to over half the people in the United States are considered obese, which is pretty sad. Not you guys, in fact. So, and then if you are of a tendency of being underweight is another thing, is that you need to be your correct and healthy weight. So, but obesity can contribute to serious health risks such as heart disease and high blood pressure, diabetes, and cancer. So nutrition and activity, dieting without keeping good nutrition can also be very dangerous. If you're dieting and you're just going to focus on one kind of food, it's not good. If you're not taking vitamins, maybe if you're dieting, and you're saying, and you're cutting down to so little that you have little fat, so it's starving. So two of the most common eating disorders are anorexic nervosa and bulimia, where people throw up. And now those are dangerous. They can kill you. I know women that have died of them. Let's tell you that. But anyway, those are eating disorders, and you guys know about those. So let's go on. If you have any problems, it says you should go to medical attention. It says weight loss guidelines. To lose weight, it's best to increase your activity level and reduce your calorie intake. And it says for best results, small changes in your diet with your sleep. For best results, begin with small changes in your diet, activities, and sleep habits, and then increase these changes if necessary. So your diet affects your sleep. So it's important. So sometimes hormone imbalances and insulin resistance and those kind of things, physical issues can prevent you from losing weight or to have weight problems. So those things you need to go to a doctor. This is important. You avoid the pitfalls of fad dieting. You don't want to go on a fad. I don't know how many of my friends of mine go on fads, and they always want me to go, but I always said I don't think so, especially if they're taking some kind of weird medicine with their fad. So anyway, they become popular because a lot of people are wanting to lose weight, and so certain fad diets that restrict calories below 1,200 calories. You don't want to go below 1,200 calories a day at all. And if you are, you're on a fad diet, unhealthy diet, and your diet will affect your health in a bad way. So some of these are based on single food or deprive the body of much nutrients because they say we're only going to eat peanuts, or we're only going to eat lettuce, or we're only going to eat fats. They're all fad diets. So also goes on to use posture, eat slowly, and chew your food to aid in good digestion. That's a good habit. Chew your food well and take time eating. Don't just gulp your food down. So it says it takes approximately 20 minutes for your brain to register that you're full. And so stop eating before you're completely full. So drink plenty of water, and the water will really help you. The water intake for your whole day should be half of your weight. So say that you weigh 150 pounds, you'll drink 75 ounces of water a day. So whatever you weigh, you should drink that much, half of ounces of water. We're measuring in ounces. So let's see. If you weigh 130, what would you do? You divide 130, divide 130 by 2, 65 or so, 130, yeah. Well, anyway, it'd be that many ounces, so it depends. Avoid eating while watching TV, eating meals and snacks when you can consciously pay attention. Eat when you're paying attention. So you're not just eating when you're doing something else and you're overeating, right? Avoid skipping meals because that can slow down your metabolism and not make you not feel. So don't skip meals. Eat your 3 meals and snacks, but eat small amounts. Sleep is also an important factor in weight loss. So, or in not only weight loss, sleep is an important factor in life. So, sleep allows your body to rest and recover after exercise. And it also produces hormones as you sleep. And these hormones suppress your appetites, and also not only your appetite, but also improve your metabolism. Teenagers require between 8 and 10 hours of sleep each night. 8 and 10 hours. So that's important. So weight gain guidelines. Active teenagers who have high energy may find it difficult to get enough calories each day. And so they may basically do the My Plate and they add nutritious snacks between meals. But avoid snacks with high sugar. Don't just say, okay, I need to gain weight, let me eat some sugar. That will not be good for you and actually make you malnourished if you just add sugar to your diet. So make sure as you add nutritious foods to your diet. So this here says common special dietary patterns. This is talking about those people that have a different type of diet. One thing is vegetarians or a vegan. What's the difference between a vegetarian and a vegan? Well, a vegetarian diet is made up of plant-based foods such as fruits, vegetables, grains, healthy fats, and proteins. And the diet allows animal products. A vegetarian can have dairy and eggs sometimes, but they avoid all animal flesh, anything from animals that, such as animal flesh. But a vegan diet is a more restrictive version, and it includes all foods and products from animals are excluded. So vegan is a very strict. Vegetarian, they can have some proteins and can have, sometimes they can have eggs and dairy. And a lot of times people choose these diets. Why? Sometimes because they're limiting their cholesterol, or sometimes they're just concerned about animals, animal rights and such. And sometimes they're concerned about their diet because of certain things in the diet that body may not agree with. Mediterranean diet is really good. Comes from the Mediterranean Sea and includes vegetables, fruits, seeds, legumes, whole grains, fish, seafood, and extra virgin olive oil. And they exclude sugar and refined processed fresh fruits, and they do eat a lot of fish, that's for sure. Occasionally this diet may include poultry, eggs, cheese, and yogurt on it too for their diet. Mediterranean diet. Paleo diet, probably heard about that. It includes unprocessed, healthy whole foods such as organic fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, grass-fed, free-range meat, and eggs. A lot of protein in paleo. It suggests avoiding processed foods. This eliminates any additives or preservatives or colors or sugar and a lot of sodium. So it suggests avoiding sugar, salt, caffeine, no caffeine. Grains, they usually take off most grains. They don't eat grains. and most dairy. They don't eat a lot of dairy. And legumes. They don't eat a lot of legumes. So they're eating a very strict type diet, paleo. There are a lot of health advantages to this diet, but those who follow it must ensure they eat enough fiber or they're going to have problems in digestion. And then you also need enough calcium and vitamin D, so they have to take that because they're not having dairy. Whenever you don't have dairy, you need to add calcium to your diet. Low carb, ketogenic. So a lot of people are on these days. These diets restrict the intake of carbohydrates. So they want not only calories, but carbohydrates. And so restricting carbohydrates also limits the intake of sugar, refined grains, and even most fruits. These foods are typically replaced with more protein, vegetables, and foods that are higher in healthy fats. The goal is to burn the fat and lose the weight by putting body into a ketosis. So they want to put their body into ketosis so they don't have any carbs, hardly low carbs, and they try to put their body, and they eat a lot. They eat fat and they eat protein. And these fat stores are in the energy, the absence of carbohydrates, so they put their body into. A lot of times this kind of diet, though, helps people with diabetes. I'm not saying it's the greatest diet to go on, especially as a teenager. So, since the foods are restricted, these diets lack several important nutrients and may be difficult to adhere to. Before beginning any new eating plan, check your doctor to make sure everything is a healthy choice. And remember to stay balanced and use moderation in everything you do. Every diet that you do. So, nutritional needs of athletes. Athletes, if you're an athlete, you're going to need more nutrition. You're going to need more calories too. So athletes and others with high activity levels should follow the MyPlate guidelines to meet their nutritional needs as their MyPlate. But they must address additional nutritional needs at this point. The first is need for energy. They need more energy, and this is provided by extra calories. So a lot of athletes need to use complex carbohydrates. So they need to eat more breads, pasta, potatoes, rice to get more calories in their diet. And fruit. Those are the best choices to getting extra fuel. And each carbohydrates are stored as glycogen, which is used by the body during the high levels of activity. So these carbohydrates are stored at high level. You got an athlete that needs them, and they also have a greater need of water. Athletes should be drinking way more water, not just half their body weight, but more. So to avoid dehydration, of course. You can imagine if you're running, you get dehydrated. So quick energy drinks that are high in sugar, they pull the body cells out. So you need to drink water, not Cokes or sugar waters or those kind of things. But although you can, have Gatorades and such like that, they're high in electrolytes, which are good. Pre-game meals should be eaten 3 to 4 hours before the meal, or before the game, And they choose a meal that is low in fat and protein because fat and protein take longer to digest. So they eat this meal 3 to 4. And the nutritious food should also be eaten within 1 to 4 after. So they should eat before and after. So in doing this, they'll have the calories available for their athletic event. So it says avoid candy. I remember when I was running track, this girl said, before you run, you need to eat some candy. I'm like, no, thank you. And you avoid sugary snacks because, you could eat sugar right away and then you'll fall. Your energy will fall off really quick. You'll have this great high and then you're like, so you can barely move. So no sugars. You'll have quick energy, but it will not last. And it'll also cause you a feeling of shakiness or a feeling of fatigue, during the event. So no sugars. So another nutrient that's necessary for athletes is a lot of protein. Of course, you have a lot of muscle growth, so it's important to have protein. Muscles are dependent on protein and on hormones. So there are other nutrients and physical, it says muscle growth and the rebuilding of muscle are depending on protein and on hormones and other nutrients and physical exercise. So to grow muscles, or to your muscles to grow, I should say, you're going to need protein. So while some people are tempted to drink an increase of protein, realize that the average teenager often already gets more than enough protein in his diet, usually. So you don't have to go drink a lot of protein drinks necessarily. Too much protein will be stored as fat in the body, so not to get too much protein. So, and also too much protein can overbalance your liver and kidneys, so you have to be careful not drinking too much protein or eating too much, doing a lot of protein bars and such, Be careful and just don't go to excess. And they also can cause kidney stones, so you have to be careful there. So that is the end of nutrition. We went through it quickly. Now we're going to go into consumer education, which are meal management, planning your meals. And then we're going to get into, cooking different types of food.